No? Now, we will now move forward to our last plenary session and last speaker for today. No? So as we continue to work from home or even greater possibility of extending working remotely, even after the pandemic, obviously there will be a lot of distractions working at home. Still, the advantages cannot weigh the disadvantage, which should be resolved if we work on them. So for the next speaker, we have Miss Marian Lazo. She is a strategic consultant in the field of HR, okay, learning and OD recruitment and business development with more than 20 years of solid experience across multiple industries, no? For local and global organization. Now, Marian is a chartered professional in human resources and a multi-licensed freelance HR consultant with current projects as HR consultant for both Keystone integrated options and talent support and opportunities. No? Her profile includes critical decision-making roles for FINMA Education, East West Aegis Life, Tautech, Point West, BFS, and other large-scale organization and multinational companies. No? She also holds a degree in commerce, major in business administration from the University of Santo Tomas. No? So to help us how we can win in the remote work setup, here is Miss Marian Lazo, minimizing workplace distraction during the pandemic. Hi, Miss Maan. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Let me put you unmute. You're still mute.
Yeah, good
Yeah, there you go.
afternoon. So can you
Good
hear me
afternoon.
well? Thank you for that
Yes.
introduction, Jester.
Okay. You may now share your
Okay,
screen.
so I will now share my screen.
Yan. So hindi pa nagtatapos dito after Miss Man's presentation because we will still be giving away a lot of raffle prizes no, later on. So stay tuned at marami pa tayo ipamimigay. No, thank you again to our sponsors and partners no and who made this mga gifts na ito no possible. Okay.
Okay, let me wait for a while.
Yan while Miss Man is preparing, I think the screen is already here.
Yeah, can you now see it?
Yes, we can now. Okay.
All right. Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. So I'd like to welcome everyone to my topic, which is minimizing workplace distractions during pandemic. I believe that most of us are currently working from home, and I believe that we are like myself, we are all surprised by this situation. So to start with, the outline that we were going to follow is what really happened and what's the current situation and what are we going to do next. All right. So we will be covering the timeline of events. I know that you know this, but this is just a backgrounder. What's our current situation and living under the new normal? Actually, the new normal is the new coined word no, for this session. So for this pandemic. So what really happened? Actually, last year was very punong-puno ng events talaga. Now we started last year with the eruption of Taal volcano. We were all surprised. Actually, Metro Manila was also affected no, by this eruption. And about 500 people living mostly within the 14-kilometer danger zone was actually displaced. And we thought that that's the major event, no? But then again, in March, the COVID-19 pandemic hit the Philippines, and a 3-month total lockdown was implemented from March to June, and even until now, we still have the several modifications. No, a lot of modifications that we've experienced. MECQ, we experience from ECQ, we have MECQ, we have GCQ, and a lot of things. No? And apart from that, there are also different tropical cyclones, of course, now being the Philippines. So actually, pandemic has made these things more difficult for us, no, in the Philippines, no. So given those things, what's our current situation? We thought, no, sabi natin, probably this will just be about 3 months of lockdown, then we're good. But then, only to find out now we are still, we thought na ECQ is over, but then again, just recently, March 29 to April 4 of this year, we had a second wave of COVID-19. And in April 5, the highest case was recorded, no, with 14,301 cases. And actually, COVID-19 is getting closer to our homes. No, to share with you, even in our family, before maririnig lang natin, oh, na-COVID si ganito, kilala ng kilala natin. But now, ang nako-COVID na is actually our family members or even tayo. So just to share with you, in our family, we had a COVID outbreak. So talagang it's getting closer to our family and to our homes. And we are still on a 50% on-site capacity. Only essential industries can operate. Majority of industries are still on on-site skeleton force. And we are working from home and other flexible work arrangement. Apart from that, marami din nag-close na mga companies, no, na talagang hindi natin inaasahan. And yes, there are vaccines already, but there we are still on the initial phase. Only those in the priority list, I think on the A4 pa lang. And I got this from the Rappler about in last May 7, about 5.5 million vaccines were delivered, but only 1.7 million were given, no, first dose, and about 320,000 yung second dose pa lang. But eventually, ito yung it will take some time, no, before talaga magkaroon tayo ng ma-vaccine lahat. And with the current situation, hindi talaga we won't be able, the government will not be able to hit the target in 2021. Now, like what I've mentioned, ano ba yung bagong word, no, na naririnig natin since last year? The new normal. This was just coined last year. What's the new normal ba? Me, I never imagined na nakikita ko lang like in Singapore, in Thailand, kapag sila, merong mga haze na they wear face mask. I never imagined that na actually this COVID is really the biggest disruptor, because it has affected in economics and countries all over the world. So the new normal is actually wearing of mask and face shields. Diba? Parang although in other countries, they're not wearing mask anymore, but then still in our country we are encouraged to still wear mask and face shields. What else? Physical distancing. Diba? I never imagined na when I eat in the restaurants, you mean when you're on a date, you're on separate tables. I've experienced that. Na you are one seat apart. Okay? What else? Social distancing. Oh, ano ba yung social distancing? Before, we have family gatherings, no? We spend time with our families, but ngayon, we really distance ourselves from those parties. We're not allowed to have big celebrations. And usually, ano nangyayari? There are weddings that are conducted via Zoom. Merong mga Christmas party last year na via Zoom. So lahat, talagang we are distancing from other people, and also even from our friends and families and workmates. So we also have teleworking. So this is what I really want to talk about to you this afternoon. Now we will dig deeper into that later. And then online transactions. This is where another opportunity for online transactions. I even actually helped my mom, taught her how to use online transactions. Before, when you are paying your bills, you go to the malls, you go to the banks, but now just online transactions. And even if we are in the era of digitalization, we were actually due to pandemic, no, it was hastened. Digitalization was hastened. Before, it's about, like, we're planning about probably 10 to 15 more years, no, to really shift to digitalization. But then, because of pandemic, we were forced to be digital. All right. So now, talking about the new normal in the workplace, minimizing the new workplace, like what I've heard during the talk of Sir Oliver. Now, our work locations are actually shifted to our homes, and we are not ready for that. Probably about not everyone is open to working from home. A lot of organizations may not be. They may be. They may have the technology, but they were also surprised, no, with na talagang they have to shift, no, and allow people to really work from home. um, Here, I'll be talking about, since we're working from home, definitely there are a lot of distractions, no? Well, because our new offices is, dati ayaw natin mag-uwi ng trabaho. No? You will hear people, I don't wanna bring home my work kasi iba ang trabaho. But then here, wala tayong choice but to actually bring our work at home. And I will be here to talk to you about how to minimize. Kasi at the end of the day, we have to deliver results and we need to work. Okay? So there are so many distractions, in the workplace during pandemic, but I'd be talking about the top five only. And I hope that you could actually relate, no, to what I will be discussing, no, this afternoon. So the top distractions in the workplace, yan, family matters are unavoidable. Whether we like it or not, because syempre, it's our home. So whether we like it or not, lalo na the setup in the Philippines, it's extended family, no? Minsan, your siblings are there, you live with your parents, or probably your children are there. So your children are also having their online classes. So ibig sabihin, you are working with your family. So of course, if there are matters na the family matters na nag-arise, then you cannot avoid it because you're there, you are physically there. It's easier for them to reach you. Pets need our attention. Whether we like it or not, pets are part of our family. And I have meetings in the past, no, that I can see their pets, no, with them, no, even during the meeting. So naandun yung mga pets nila. And then chores are waving, no, kasi everything is accessible. When you're at home, you can see you get tempted kapag if there are dishes, no, na huhugasan, if there are madumi ang floor, you have to clean it up, and it's easier to makikita mo, unlike when you're in the office, makikita mo na lang yan pag uwi mo na. Pero you won't get distracted if the kids are messy, if they're running around or things like that. And the washing machine is there, yung lababo is there to, yung tinatawag ka to clean them up. Social media gets in the way. No? Siyempre, tendency when you're at home, when you're in the comfort of your home, di ba, ang tendency lalo na ngayon, everything is, you look at your Facebook, you look at your Instagram, talagang almost everyone is in social media. You get information via social media. And lahat, halos, yung mga artists natin also use social media, no, to actually do their shows. Okay? And what else? Apart from that, it's tempting to watch my favorite TV show. Siyempre, the Netflix is there. Siyempre, again, you are in the comfort of your home. Ang daming magagandang mga Korean novela. So minsan, you really get tempted na pag andyan yung TV, you tend to, watch. Lalo na kapag yung nisip ko parang, wala namang, I'm at home. No, wala namang tumitingin sa akin. So things like that. All right, so let's be discussing on how to actually minimize these distractions. So for me, like what I've mentioned kanina, we were also shocked, no? When we were at work here, we were parang we were shocked na, oh, ano na pala, ECQ na pala, so we have no choice but to work from home. How can we actually ensure that our people and ikaw mismo can really be productive? Because it's not a normal setup na you work from home. Syempre, not everyone has the connection, the Wi-Fi connection. Parang hindi rin ganun what do you call this? Hindi rin ganun ka ayos yung mga connection natin here in the Philippines. Whether we like it or not, talagang mabagal, hindi ganun kabilis. So, syempre, that's also, these are the things that you also need to consider. So, the first one, to minimize these distractions, yung mga things that I've mentioned kanina, the first step is to designate a workplace. Like what I've said a while ago, we had a change of location. So, probably yung bahay natin is not conducive for working kasi it may be small or marami kayong sa bahay. You are sharing your space with your children or with your siblings, with your parents. So you somehow you have to set up your own workplace. You set up an area of your house, no, to use as a workspace. And sitting down, diba, usually in the office, when you sit down, it sends you a clear idea or a clear signal to your brain na, oh, it's time for me to focus at work. You have to stay away. You have to stay away from the other distractions and make this corner a workplace. So me, in my case, I really have to buy a table, create really a small corner in my place, no, wherein that's where I work, because I am not also comfortable working in on my bed kasi that's my place to sleep. So it parang I need to have that kind of mindset na I need to focus. That's why I need to designate a workplace. And this is also a way for me to discipline, actually set a mindset, no, for myself and to my cohabitants, no, that if I'm here, I am here to work. Okay, so here, once you've completed your work day, ang tendency nga, sabi ko, when you actually work from home, usually mas extended yung time mo to work. Why? Because it's easier for you your laptop is there. It's easier for you to, after lunch or tuloy-tuloy ka ng work mo. Usually in the office, you come in at 8 o'clock or 8:30, you go home at 5:30 because you still have to travel. Here, when you wake up, you go to you turn on your laptop and you can start working. So it's very accessible siya lahat. So now, once you've completed your workday, you also need to have that urge, no, na you have to stay away from that workplace as well. It is your workplace will help you set your have a mindset to work, and it should also be your way not to stay away from it after office, no. So if there are cases, Maan, what if I don't have enough space, no? Ang gulo talaga ng bahay. I share it with I can say that I'm blessed because somehow mag-isa lang ako sa umaga. So I have really my patient, my peace of mind, no? Tahimik. But then again, I realized for people who have families, who have children, it's really difficult for them. So what you really need to do is you have to have a spot in that place and you have to declutter, no, so that you, again, it's part of the mindsetting na basta kapag this is my space, you can use your headphones, because this will actually help you focus kasi it will keep you from hearing those what do you call this, those noises around you. So you can actually use your headphones. You can make sure that your workspace is ergonomic. Kasi di ba, when you're on bed, mahirap yan. You can actually injure your back. No? Di ba in the office, syempre, ano yan, you have your ergonomic chairs. Pero at home, usually, ano naman you just, lalo na if you're working o sa bed mo, wala kang masasandalan. So make sure na you have an ergonomic workspace if you can. Okay? If you can. Kasi make sure that you can actually strain your back or your neck kapag masyado, lagi ka lang naka ano sa laptop mo, nakatutok sa laptop mo. Okay? So, then the second one is get ready for the day. If you need to dress properly, to dress like you're going to the office, it's okay. If you need to prepare your meals, kasi syempre minsan during the day when you're working, and then your lunch break is just 1 hour. So, a tendency, you don't have time na to actually prepare your meal. So, it's better that you, before your day starts, you have to prepare your meals or do the chores. You have to, if you have pets, you probably early in the morning, you can walk them. You can also talk to your partners, to your family, to distribute the chores so that it won't get in the way. No? It won't get in the way. If you prefer to do your hair and makeup, no, for us, no, sa mga girls, if you want to put on your lipstick, your makeup, it's okay. Then go for it, even if it's only for you. Especially there are times when there are Zoom meetings. So if there are Zoom meetings, then it's okay. Kasi syempre, it's the mindset, di ba? Ang tendency, it's like you just have a change of location, but basically you are there to work. So prepare for it. Okay? If you need to be beautiful, if you need to, kahit mainit siya, especially ngayon, no? Mainit. Pero if that will help you prepare for the day, then go for it. And then set a schedule. Create a daily schedule and put it in writing. Kasi stick it somewhere na visible. So ako, I make sure that I have a cork board in front of me because I'm a visible visible. Gusto ko visible sa akin lahat. So I want my to-do task na nakikita ko siya. Come up with a to-do list that's broken down into categories based on the importance. So you have to prioritize things. You have to write down ano yung top priority mo. Good thing if you have tools sa office, but if you don't have, you make a do with what you have. You use your pen, you have notebook. Ako, I make sure I have notebook with me. I write down a lot so that I won't forget because there are tendencies that you forget things because of the distraction. So it's good to write it down. You set alarm. No, if it's time for, again, if you are too engrossed with what you're doing, you have the tendency to forget that, oh, I need to have a break. So it's like in the office. Diba? In the office, at around 10 o'clock, you have your coffee break. So you'd also do it. Plan out your meal and snacks ahead of time. Kasi the most difficult part is really thinking, what will I eat or what will I cook? No, it's okay if you can order, okay lang yon. Pero again, the reason why you're working is to prevent to do social distancing, physical distancing. So as much as possible, you stay home and you minimize interaction with people. Now, I make sure na I prepare. I'm already thinking about my food. I make sure that I'm eating on time, or probably, although I have the tendency talaga, no? Especially kapag my work, I'm guilty of that, na minsan I eat at around 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock, I forget because of, meetings, so minsan may mga kailangan gawin that I tend to forget. That's why it's good to set alarms, na you have to eat at 12 or 12:30, tapos you have to take your breaks as well. Now, next we have balance, structure, and play. Like what I've mentioned, this also works for people who have children, who have their siblings with them, with their families, for extended family. Encourage your kids to entertain themselves. No? You have to help them manage their time. So I know it's difficult. I realized that because when I went to my parents' house, my nephews are there and they're also working from home, do online studies. But then after classes, so, you get distracted kasi marami silang kilos and maraming gumagalaw sa bahay. So I've realized it's really difficult to work from home when you are sharing it with other people. So the best thing to do is you have to set appropriate activities for your children. It really depends, how, if they're toddlers, it's more difficult to handle. Pero I remember, paano yun kung baby or something. Naisip ko, sabi ko, then probably, di ba, when you are working naman in the office, you ask for help. It's either you have a help, or probably these are the things that you discuss with your husband, with your parents, or with your siblings, no, on how to actually work on these chores or these activities. Now, keep them engaged, especially for kids. Keep them engaged, and make sure then na they don't overuse yung mga tablets. Minsan kasi ang tendency ng mga parents, no? I see that with my siblings. O, para hindi ka mag-ingay, ayan ang tablet. But then again, ayan na yung cellphone, maglaro ka or whatnot. Pero that they can be overstimulated, no, using that. You can also share a screen with your children, no, wherein you can actually show them, oh, mommy is working or daddy is working. So you share, this is my priority. If this is the time, mommy is working. So they can see what you're doing. So, and make it clear to them that your work is your priority on that, on this, let's say from 8 to 5. That's my priority. And give them time to use, no, yung schedule, yung, if they can see your screen, if they can check, no, para they would understand what you are doing. And what else? Put on, in terms of balancing your structure and play, put on a lock on social media. Kasi yun yung tendency, di ba? You minsan akala mo 5 minutes ka na, yung pala nakaka 30 minutes ka na, browse sa Facebook mo. So put on a lock on social media. If minsan, break ko naman eh. O, then put an alarm. Set an alarm na, okay, it's 15 minutes, it's a 15-minute break, then I have to set that alarm. So you can actually, I think there are applications, no, that you can see that block social media, or probably yun nga, every 5 minutes na you can set an alarm na, oh, stop na. And there are several apps that work for your phone, tablets, or computer. So make sure na, kasi some of social media is actually a distraction busting programs na talagang keep you or allow you to block yung mga online games. Kasi yan na digitalization yan whether we like it or not. Or probably, kapag if we have to access, no, yung mga Shopee, may mga Shopee, Lazada. So these are hindi lang basta yung games, but also yung mga online shopping, no? And it's easier kasi to do online transactions, and it's safer. All right, so you have to ensure that you balance yung structure and play, that you give time. If it's work. Ang importante kasi dyan, again, you have to be productive and you have deliverables to accomplish. And then practice self-care. I mean, you'd hear a lot of people, naku, tumaba ako. No, because of, lang ako nasa kaupo lang most of the time. Kung sa office, at least when you go to the office, you can walk na from your parking to your office. Pero ito hindi You just how many steps from your bedroom to your work space? Pagpunta mo ng washroom, ganun din, sandaling time na. So very limited talaga. So there are actually good thing that you have YouTube. You can actually check, you can do chair yoga. You can actually do some exercise or take a walk in the morning, or make sure na hindi ka talaga na you're still moving, no? You're moving around. Somehow, when you take care of yourself, no, not just physically, but this will also help you your mental being, no, during the sensitive time. Kasi syempre, it's a lot of people talaga is, even ako, I'm really, there were times na parang I really get bored, especially my personality is I want to go out. Whenever I think of going out, I go out. Kaya lang ako, I'm stuck at home. I have no choice. So minsan talagang nakakalungkot. And whether we like it or not, that's the situation. So somehow you eat healthy food, you make sure that, o kaya you actually call your family if you're living if you're living separately from them, you can actually call them from every day. What else? No, move around. Have a lot time for exercise, eat healthy food, stay active. No, although ako talaga I make sure na pag weekends ang I pag if I need to do the grocery, you know, I can walk around. Kasi as much as possible talaga I don't go out. So you can actually you can have your chair yoga, yung mga things like that. Or I've also learned the Pomodoro technique. No, it's this timing method helps you train your brain to stay on task in short periods of time. So how does it work? Set your timer for 25 minutes and get to work. Tapos when you buzzer sounds, take a 5-minute break and then set the timer again and get back to work. So once you've done your 4 rounds of this, you can take a longer breaks, approximately 20 to 30 minutes, because this will actually give you the rhythm na parang, okay, work, tapos you have to take a rest, okay, take a break, and then work again. Because this is more effective. At least, nare-refresh, na-energize ulit yung brain cells mo. Hindi yung parang pagod na pagod ka for the whole day. And last, you have to put away your work tools after work. Learn how to stop. You stay disconnected after work. Keep away from the designated workplace, diba? You've allowed that workplace, but you've already brought work at home. So it's a given na nandyan na yung trabaho natin. But at least set a boundary between work and personal time. This will prevent us from getting burned out, no? You need to regain your energy, no, by doing something you love, to do aside from work. Kasi that will actually regain your I got that from my boss as well. Dapat pag weekend you look forward to that, make sure na you will do something that you love to do, because para sa Monday excited ka ulit sa work. You won't parang hindi ka mababurn out with what you're doing. Okay, so in conclusion, I hope that this is what you've learned, no, during this session. It may not be what you have planned, but you can make the most out of it. No, it's no one's plan na mag-work tayo from home for a year and a half or more than a year. Be grateful that you still have a job. You get to work while spending time with your family, diba? It's not very often. Sabi nga natin parang, oh yes, you get bored, no, nakakainip sa bahay. But when the time comes, no, na somehow we all get vaccinated, we will live under that normal. We will miss this. No? We will miss this time, no, spending time at home, that you have to travel. One thing that I'm thankful about working from home is that I don't have to spend time in traffic. Kasi ayoko talaga ng nata-traffic. So I wake up in the morning. At least here, when you're working from home, if your time is at 8 o'clock, you can wake up at 6:30 or 7. Kasi all you need to do is, prepare. Pero you don't have to travel. You don't have to experience the traffic again. The new normal is the new future. So our lives need to continue. Learn to live with COVID-19. This is how our lives will be. No more turning back. Kumbaga, the new normal, this is actually the new future. So we need to adapt to this lifestyle, and we need to live with it. Be creative. Do not be afraid to experiment, to see what works and what does not work. Discover new routines and habits that will help you become productive at work. So it's okay to probably this thing did work, so baka itong style na to mag-work naman siya. So don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to experiment. You just have to be creative. Kasi again, wala namang mali at tama, kasi your trial and error yan eh. What works for you may not work for other people, pero yung what may not work for them may work for you. So you just have to experiment. find an accountability body that will help you achieve your goals for the month or for the year. Talk about personal and career goals. Ako, I have a friend, no, he's from the US. So every time we talk every day, we make sure that we talk every day to ensure, oh, how are you? Kasi somehow you need someone to talk to discuss about your personal goals. Um, o kaya you can actually have someone from the office, no, oh, kamusta ka ba? How can I help you? Na minsan, this will actually break yung routine natin sa work na puro trabaho lang. It's also good to actually get in touch with people, get connected with people so that you would also know, because, this will help us stay focused and sane in what we're doing. That's very helpful. So that's the end of my discussion. So if you have any questions, you can ask me.
Yeah, so again, we're opening now the floor for questions and also for pieces of advice and best practices that you'd like to explore. No, this session is actually very interesting because it's a good reminder, especially now that most of us are working at home. So it's best that we practice, no, sabi nga ni Maan, no, set a boundary between life and work, no? Kasi paminsan even if we're working at home, minsan di pa na-apply yung work-life balance, nagiging work-work balance pa rin siya, no? So ang ganda ng mga 'yon, no? Set alarms, no? So tell sa people sa bahay na I'm working talaga para you will prevent from being bugged, no, from doing, especially we're distracted kapag may mga house chores sa gilid, no? Kulang na lang yung alam niyo sa kabayo, yung kinakabit dito, takpan yung mata para focus kasi namangangati tayong gawin yung mga house chores around, no? So it's best that we really practice, no, yung management, no, not just sa time kundi sa work, no? So sabi nga ni MN Manuel, no, I just want to remind that mental health and self-care is still important for every one of us. And also, sabi ni JT, nag-agree siya. Setting alarms and taking breaks, agree. No? So, ayan, meron sinabi si Jelly, I use forest for
Pomodoro technique, yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Pomodoro is, you would like to have the audience know more about this Pomodoro technique?
Yeah, actually, the Pomodoro, like what I mentioned, you have to set a break, from time to time. So work, tapos break, and then work. Because this will help you regain your... Kasi di ba minsan, pag isipin mo parang, oh, lutang ka na at the end of the day. Why? Because you do work, work, work. You tend to forget na, oh, I have to take a break. Because this will, somehow, di ba, if our eyes, we keep on looking on our laptop, napapagod yung mata natin. The same thing with our brain cells. The same thing with, if we forget to take our breaks, then kailangan din ng physical body natin ng pahinga, as well as our mind. We also need to have that break. You can have your coffee, you can have snacks, or just stand up. No, it's also your time to move around. No, given that breaks.
Ayan, sabi ni Mark, no, also using Forest for Pomodoro technique. You can download it for free in Google, as Google Chrome extensions, no? Ayan pa. So I agree with having someone to talk to. It is very helpful.
Yes.
Of course, this will also keep you sane, no? Even if you're working from remotely, kasi lalo na this might even extend, no? Even in the next coming years, especially now that this is
Yes.
slowly getting accepted, since nakita naman natin na not all functions or not all job roles, so na mukhang nagwo-work din naman ang remotely working from home.
Yes.
But again, so it's important to take care of our time, no, and workloads, no, to avoid from being burnt out, no, or getting burnt out. Ayan. So any more last lessons na gusto mong i-share sa ating mga viewers, especially sa mga nagwo-work from home?
Well, siguro it's all about yung point of view natin. Number one, let's be thankful that we still have a job. A lot of people had lost their jobs, and we're still thankful na andito pa rin tayo sa work natin. And let's also give it back. No, make sure that you deliver your results, because the companies that we're working for are actually, they are our bread and butter. So make sure that you don't shortchange that organization and give it back. No, as you are, kumbaga, ano natin yan, it's a two-way thing. So you have to give it back as well. Yung trust, I think most of the reasons why some people or some leaders are not open to their people working from home is because they lack trust. They lack yung parang they don't trust their people that they will deliver. So it's you talk about it, you sit down. Kasi for me, it's this is it. I mean, we have to really identify what are the deliverables per day. Make sure that in a week you get in touch with your team, with your people. You ask them, pero maganda rin kasi you ask them, kamusta na kayo? Hindi lang puro trabaho. Because this will actually, kasi you'll never know what they're going through. So it's really a good practice to really have that one-on-one session, or probably have that meeting with your team and get to know them. Kasi ano yan I remember you have to be compassionate and somehow understanding. I remember when I was calling a customer service hotline, and then I heard on the background na merong tumitilaok na manok at nagmatahol na aso. So, but then parang usually sa iba parang, anong background yun? But you have to understand that they are also human beings. No? They are also working from home. Na you have to be more understanding in this situation and be more compassionate about things. So yun yung, I think that's what I can share. So communication is really important.
Yun, communication, no? Communication, compassion, no? And of course, trust. Sabi ni Grits Dalay, also having trust, no? Avoids micromanaging. So I guess that concludes our plenary sessions, for the today. Thank you again, Miss Marian Lazo, for this
Thank
very
you. Thanks
eye-opening
for this
talk.
opportunity as well.
Thank you.
Stay
So,
safe, everyone. Thank you.
bye. Likewise.
Thanks. Bye-bye.